Welcome back to the Chapter 416 podcast, where we take strategy and storytelling and blend together to give you an experience unlike any other channel. My name is Pajama Pants. That's Brad Chester.
This guy.
And we're back. We've been on a little bit of a hiatus. We had quite an interesting Adepticon.
Look, there's some times when it's your fault, and there's other times when it's my fault. And this might be my fault. We didn't stream because I decided that I had to have some minor heart things done, so I didn't die.
So heart surgery.
So, you know how it is. I always schedule a tournament, and then I immediately have a heart procedure. I got back from a cut on Monday. I got a fucking heart procedure on Tuesday. I love everything about my planning. You're like, that's stupid. I'm like, you're right.
Yeah, I could barely walk Tuesday. I was so tired. Also, it was really funny that Brad had, I have to tell this, I apologize if it's disturbing for you, but Brad had whatever the bottle of stuff you drink for a colonoscopy. He just had that with him the entire weekend. And I'm like, why do you have this? And he's like, oh, I need it in the future. And I'm like, but like, for what? You have a heart thing going on Tuesday. And he's like, no, I'll need it like at some point. Came with him like everywhere he went. He like went from Toledo to Chicago, from Chicago to Milwaukee.
Let me tell you
it's just traveling.
One of the many weird things about me is once I start going somewhere or do anything, I freak out if I have to backtrack. And Barsati picked me up, and on the way is Kroger Pharmacy, and I had to pick up one of my prescriptions. Well, they filled the prescription for my upcoming appointment. And so I had a gallon jug of make you clean your system out stuff. And you're lucky because I really was tempted to just keep dripping that in everybody's drink. What? And seeing what would happen. I really thought that maybe you guys wouldn't be friends with me.
It's like, no, we could have gave it to all of our opponents, right? It's like, oh man, the Kamikazes swept the field.
Crushed.
Like, everyone they played had explosive diarrhea in the middle of the rounds. They just crushed everybody.
They bought them many drinks, but oof.
No, but serious note, I'm glad that you're feeling better. I'm glad everything went okay. You know, it's not most people don't respond to heart surgery the way you do, where you're like, you called me like right after. You're like, hey man, I'm good. I'm like, dude, you had a heart surgery. Just relax, bro. Like, just take it easy for a little while.
Well, you like the message I sent you? I put that in Discord. I just put, I'm undead. I'll never die. I was still connected to so many things, dude.
I know. I love the one that we made in the past with you on your other operation where I was like, Brad's going in to become a space marine. That's like one of my favorite memes. And the other elephant in the room, other than your brand new heart aorta connection, is your brand new microphone sounding like a champion.
All I'm saying is putting the sexy voice on for everyone.
It's not even a filter. It's just a pure mic, man. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Well, Adepticon was great. We had a great time.
I loved Adepticon quite a bit.
Yeah.
For me, it's my favorite tournament of the year. I play a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
It's this one. Well, let me set it up for a lot of people, because a lot of people, this tournament is so wildly different than other tournaments, because this tournament's a 4-man team tournament. You're playing 2-on-2 on each table. You play 5 games where they randomize it for the first 3, then you pick it for the last 2. So you have to have 4 1,000 point lists, which is hard in and of itself. But certain people on this cast wanted us to have a uniqueness to our army. So I'm not saying it wasn't me, but it definitely wasn't me. So I'm not naming any names. I'm just saying that on this cast, I did not choose to be Highlander, but the other guy did. And I had to make 4 1,000 point lists. The points changed 2 weeks before the event.
2 weeks before, yeah.
Yeah, and barely. 2 of the lists were 10,000 or 1,005, 1,030, and we had to do it. But Alan wanted to do Highlander, and this is a big thing. This is more, to be honest, for the past, we put ourselves at a little bit of a disadvantage, because in the past, if you brought too hard of an army, too powerful, you didn't show that you were trying to express how your army plays. The judges used to be really, really strong on the fact that you didn't bring an army that looks and feels like how the army, the chapter, the craft world, or whatever you're playing is supposed to be. And we knew that we couldn't even accidentally make too bad of an army if we went Highlander. One of every, you can only take one of any particular selection, and even transports, right? It couldn't duplicate them for any of them. And obviously we don't need to, but like I was frustrated, but I really liked it at the same time because I really do enjoy the problem solving. I like that uniqueness of that and making that. And it's not like something I want to do all the time, but I do kind of miss, and everybody can throw tomatoes at me for this because no one liked it, but I kind of always did like comp and having to have constraints on what I could bring. A lot of people really, and I'm very much on the minority on this, because like people loved when 8th and 9th and everything, and they came and they just, gave you free reign on what you could do. But sometimes I just like to be able to have to figure out how to make something work, as opposed to this is obviously this is the best thing. This is the best thing. Because I think a lot of lists right now in regular 40K are like that. You just go, these things are really good, so I take 3 of this and 3 of this and 3 of this and 3 of this. You know what I mean? Like, it's super easy.
Yeah, I think so. Go back to your first point. Adepticon is great. I highly recommend everyone attend. I mean, the size and the scope of it is just it's
so big now.
It felt so big this year. It felt like something that everyone can come to. I think there are some preconceived notions that Adepticon's kind of one of the older events, and it might be, a little bit more for the longtime gamers in the Midwest. But I highly recommend anyone globally to definitely consider Adepticon. I mean, you have the Long War doubles, you have the singles event. That was really hot. A lot of players.
And the friendly was just huge.
The friendly's huge. Then there's also the team tournament, which I think is the flagship event and one of the most unique ways to still play 40K. There's a component to it where comp's a big part. I just want to explain the comp part. Comp has been a big part in previous years. And if you came with an army that was lots of spam, like a lot of guys take, multiple of the same thing or multiple things that are similar-esque, and looks like you're really trying to overwhelm your opponent with just the most efficient choices, and you're not taking real sacrifices, then you get dinged enough so that it's very difficult to win overall. This year, that wasn't the case, I don't think. I think we marginally got a benefit. I think the overall points from a comp standpoint is like 20 points on theme. There were teams with a lot of spam that got 15.
We got
multiple units.
Yeah, so we got the max, which was 20.
Yeah. But like us and like some of the other teams that were like all at the top table,
very few
was substantial because we're Highlander across 4 armies. I think we're comping ourselves too much. And those teams are, maybe comping themselves a little bit. I really didn't see in the top tables how much comp was actually happening. I felt like there was quite a bit of spam when people had like, multiple of the same HQ type, multiple of the same unit type. And there were definitely optimized choices across the board. And I didn't see that like dinged as much as it is in previous years, which is totally fine. We just need to know that too, right? We didn't know that. Like, we didn't know it was going to be that way, which is fine. But,
I think
moving forward, yeah, we should have an old school approach. I think the new cast that's running it is doing a great job. Really cool.
Well, hold on this. I do want to say something. They upgraded their terrain significantly this year.
Oh my God, yeah.
I have to give a shout out.
Everything's upgraded. Terrain is upgraded. Transparency on the scoring is now a thing. That's crazy. That's never been a thing before. I mean, they had judging was smoother. It felt like Armies on Parade was smoother. It felt like everything was tip top shape. I don't think I have a single complaint from this year in terms of how it was run. It was pretty solid all across the board. I think the rounds were smooth. Good.
You know what my complaint would be though? Our team captain, man, that guy, one of us we didn't have a team this year, weirdly enough. I didn't know. By the way, did you know we're the Chicago Kamikazes?
Yeah, so I didn't know. I wasn't watching. Like, I use a spam email to register for accounts. I don't use a real email. I don't use my real name. So like, I clearly not like paying attention to any emails that come through. And I've been going to Adepticon since, I don't know, I was 12 years old. And you've never had to register the army beforehand. That was never a thing. So like, this is a new thing that just happened for the team tournament where you had to like, I guess, register and check in like Thursday. And so we show up Friday to set up our board, and we're like not registered, of course.
At all.
I had no idea.
We're not a team.
Also, to be fair, we've won several times. And when you win, you don't have to register. So like, I'm not even like, registration is also like a native concept for me. So like when we registered online, I thought we were good to go. So I was very shocked that there was like a secondary check-in thing on Thursday. But yeah, we did not do that. So thankfully we went on Friday just to set up the board, and then we were told
happened to have set up.
We happened to be like, hey, let's just go and make sure we're all good. And we go talk to them, and they're like, yeah, you guys were supposed to register yesterday. And we're like, oh, my bad. So we registered late, which was thankfully because of Brad. Brad took care of it, which was awesome. Easy.
Who knew? I just started yelling out, I need an adult.
But we had some great, I felt like we had some really competitive games this year.
We had some, well, let's rock salad it. Also, 12 o'clock, pause.
On this brief commercial, we want to talk to you about Cialis. Cialis, the drug that never stops delivering. Brad has reached an age where Cialis is quite important. And, when you have to get it up, you have to get it up. So you just take one pill a day. And when that moment comes, you get to spark and spank and slasm right on top of it. Cialis for you.
All I heard was, I'm hearing my fucking headphones while I'm adjusting that. I hear, all you have to do is take one pill a day of Cialis. I couldn't hear anything else. I'm like, what the fuck?
I just did a quick Cialis commercial while you left. That might be a short. I don't know. We'll see.
All of the things, some of the stuff.
All right. The things, some of the stuff.
And go, 13.
Probably not cutting any of that out.
Why not? My light,
it's commercial while you move. It's hilarious.
My light was just too bright.
Fine. I don't want you to have a seizure and die. But there's a good chance I don't cut any of that out. And I just Cialis your camera while I'm talking. I'm just saying. I don't even know what I said. So, but anyways, we had really good, I think we had some really competitive games. And we played armies that I wasn't really anticipating, like Custodes and Sisters, like that.
Custodes are so popular right now.
Custodes, man, they're like much better than I thought.
Super strong army.
Yeah.
Super durable. But they're also, one of the things about Custodes, you're going to see them a lot. One, they're very competitive. But two, they're super easy to travel with. It's a smaller army.
Yeah.
You can instantly get it somewhere. It doesn't have wild big pieces, wings and all kinds of crazy shit on it. You've got a really compact army that you can, bam. It's also something you can paint pretty quickly. You know what I mean?
Easy to paint, easy to get, easy to travel with, and hits hard. We
hard.
played the bike unit with the captain. Amazing.
It gets
just
back
so
up.
Good. So versatile. Yeah, the fact that they can bring back a guy and then they can also reduce all damage to one. And that's like great strats.
That dude's just a badass. We're last minute as shit with getting the army to, we won best appearance. The army only got best appearance because that guy. We were up late. I was posting some stuff online. We were up till 2:30 in the morning.
You were up till 3 in the morning.
Yeah, you shipped me at one point in time because I was no help anymore.
No help the entire time except support, which was a lot of help actually. No, Elliot painted up some beautiful Phoenix Lords. Some great models. Mitch brought some really good stuff too. Mitch had a couple unit of warp spiders that he had really, really well painted. But yeah, we stayed up real late to get everything else done Saturday early morning. Like we were playing, we physically had dice rolling at 9:00 a.m., setting up the display at 7 a.m. And I think I went to bed at 4:30.
I thought you lost your mind. This is one of my favorites. So it's 3 in the morning and Alan he's just putting stuff together and he grabs a bunch of moss. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing at this point in time. And he's got our fire Crimson Hunter, our flyer is an actual pterodactyl. And Alan grabs his base and just starts screwing around and legitimately throwing stuff at the base. You put a bunch of glue down and started throwing stuff like you were an abstract artist. And I go, he's crazy now. He's sleep deprived. He has no idea where he is. I don't know what the fuck's going on. We're not gonna have an army because he's throwing rocks at our stuff. You were actually throwing rocks.
I was throwing rocks.
And all of a sudden he put it all together and I was mystified. I was so tired and drinking wine. And all of a sudden he makes it so the pterodactyl comes out of a tree and has all kinds of stuff coming off him. And I'm like, I was mystified. And I immediately took a picture of it.
We made a tree for the pterodactyl. We made a tree for the stegosaurus or the triceratops. I think the falcon was the triceratops, had a tree as well. And then we made really nice water effects on the T-Rex and on the stegosaurus. We just spent some time, man, on those bases at the end just to make them even better.
I really like that.
One notch higher.
Putting the rocks on was a total accident too. I loved it. You had an idea of doing something completely different. And then you put literally two rocks on something for something else. And then you cleared the base off and went, we're doing rocks. And you put all these rocks on and made it look really cool. So we had Chocobo riders for our wind riders. We had, what were the warlocks on Skyrunners?
The warlocks were like on ostrich dinosaurs.
Yeah. And then,
The flares.
oh, I love them. Those were some of my favorites. And then all the walking warlocks were custom sculpts, which I thought were probably my favorite models.
Yeah, they're
And
really cool.
Those were all Exodite feel. They felt like almost shaman.
They were just massive conversions. So it was like bits from GW. It was old Corsair, the old Corsair scale capes from the Dark Elves, I believe.
Yeah, it was the Dark Elf Riders.
Dark Elf Riders, yeah. And then it was like a torso from one kit, 3D printed, and then legs from a different kit, 3D printed, and then like real heads, real arms, real guns from actual Guardians, all put in one giant kit bash. So there's a lot of conversion. And then obviously green stuff to make it all work.
And then I think one of my favorites, the Shining Spears might have been my favorite flow model. They were on Raptors.
Raptors, like
And
pure Raptors, like
they
like
looked
straight up from Jurassic Park.
awesome. And they had the giant spears. The dinosaur, the transports, we had a wave serpent, we had a falcon, we had a fire prism, and they were all big dinosaurs. And I kind of always knew how they were going to look, and they look very good, but I kind of had a feel for how they were going to be. I just liked the other models so much more. This is my favorite year. I said that before, I know, but I really loved the way our army looked. And also everything was perfect. Sometimes when you get sculpts and stuff and you're doing, counts as models, they're a little bit awkward. These were perfectly designed that they were the same size and shape while still being dinosaurs. So like the models just really flowed, and you're like, oh, these are clearly this, and they look super good together. Also, I think one of the reasons we got the best appearance is because the army flowed together. Sometimes we've had years where we had great sculpts, but they look like they were part of something else. These were super cool. This year, everything looked like it was an army, like a full, like the designs all felt together, because we used old models too, because our theme was Exodites, but craft worlds coming to help the Exodites. Well, let's be honest, our theme was RIP Karandras. Hey, Ron, baby. Pour one out, baby.
Karandras not being in the codex, we decided to throw him a funeral, and everyone came to a maiden world to join that funeral while they destroyed his armor, because that's the only way you can kill a Phoenix Lord, unless you're GW, and then you could just write them out of the game.
Hold on this, my friend, because I'm about to make what's going to definitely end up as a short, because it's about to be awesome. Alan decided out of nowhere he wants airbrushed Karandras shirts like you were taking him to a funeral. Alan gets a hold of some guy on Backpage, Craigslist. I don't know where he found him. Like, he found a number in a bathroom at a truck stop, and he called this dude that's supposed to be an airbrush artist. And he calls him up, tells the guy, hey, I need this, and starts to explain what he wants. And the guy goes, nah, you don't need to explain it to me. By the way, this guy has no idea what 40K is, Karandras is, anything else. He said, sorry for your loss originally when Alan was telling him. So this guy has no idea what Karandras, the Scorpion Phoenix Lord. And he tells him this, and the guy's just like, cool. And Alan, he goes, it's going to be $700,000. And Alan's like, I'll give you $600,000. And the guy's like, well, I need half to start doing it. And Alan's like, I just sent you twice as much right now. And the guy's like, cool. I'm never going to do any of this for you. I'm going to smoke crack. And talks to me about this and goes, hey, man, it's super weird. I sent him all this money and I've never heard from him ever again. And I go, no shit, Alan. This guy never is making anything for you. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You found a guy from, again, I don't even know where you found. I think you had a vision quest and got a number from the air and called this dude. The guy wanted no information, no anything. He just told him a name like it was a back.
He wanted an address.
Sorry, your address and the name of Karandras, and he's going to figure it out. And you're like, yeah, man, he doesn't need any information because he's not going to make anything. It is Thursday evening. We are leaving for Adepticon. By the way, normally we would have already been gone. It's Thursday night. We've packed everything up. We're going to Adepticon. And all of a sudden, Alan's wife walks out and just goes, hey, look at these shirts, man. They look sweet. And I'm like, what is even happening right?
They're
awesome.
They're the best shirts ever. I had so many compliments on our Karandras shirts. It wasn't even funny.
It'll be
So,
behind me. You'll be
yeah.
able to see this. Make that happen.
It-
Even I'm running into the other room and I'm just getting the shirt.
No,
So-
it's amazing. Yeah, it's one of the greatest shirts. I think we do like graffiti shirts every year now.
Oh, it was
potentially.
so good.
Yeah,
It was.
It's
Like
like
I
worth
still
it.
don't believe you had. You had the same chance
So
of that
funny.
happening as the Nigerian prince getting the money into the country. I was like, this is not going on. You should buy a lottery ticket
Oh man.
right now. There's no way you should have got this.
Yeah, we were absolutely convinced. Like the week of, we're kind of working in the garage on Wednesday, and we were all joking around how I got ripped off massively. And the fact that they just came in was just so crazy, so crazy.
You
So
haven't
we were
talked
really
to the
excited.
guy. He hasn't responded for a month.
He didn't respond to anything
At all.
I also sent him an email on how much I love the shirts, and he didn't say anything.
Because he probably doesn't know he sent them. That guy had
Said-
a fever dream, made those shirts, mentioned, then woke
I
back
kind of
up.
want to email. I kind of want to email him again and be like, "Hey, I need more shirts, and I have a new space, like new 40K thing in mind." And he's just gonna be like, "Don't even tell me. I'm gonna read your mind," and then he'll just send me shirts that are literally perfect.
Dude, I
without-
still can't.
Oh my god.
I would have lost so much money if I made that Vegas bet because there's no chance that I thought you were
There's no
getting anything.
I didn't think so either. Yeah, I was emailing him like a couple weeks before, like, "Hey man, do you have a tracking number? Like, do you have any idea when you're gonna ship?" Or nothing, zero, like just squawk. So it's super funny. But yeah, so we get to Adepticon, we set up the display board, everything looks great. I'll probably-
Waterfall.
yeah, Brad wanted a waterfall. He got a waterfall. I wanted a Bronchiosaurus on the board. I made a Bronchiosaurus. So we put in some extra
So
effort. I mean,
big.
at the end of the day, best appearance, second place overall, fantastic. One of the best scores we've ever got. I mean, the team that won just crushed. So like they just dominated. They were they tied first in hobby with us. And I think the Quebec guys, we all got the same score for hobby overall. And then they had like 14, 15 more battle points than us.
Well, let's talk
Yeah.
about that. We go into round 3 versus
Yeah.
the people that won. We got first thing. This is day 1, day 2.
It was day one. Yeah, day one.
Yeah, the end of day 1, and they have their 2 hobbyists on one side and their 2 killers on the other side. And Alan and I are playing the 2 hobbyists,
Yeah.
and both tables did not go well for the respective others. Like,
Yeah, I think actually if we switched, if like you and I played their 2 best players and then Elliot and Mitch played the hobbyist side of the table, I think both games would have been quite competitive. I
yes.
think.
And
Arguably
it's-
though, I think Fire Dragons really do change that game quite a bit. So I don't really know what they do against that. I feel like the table with Fire Dragons is probably a win, maybe not a 20-0, but definitely a win.
But it was so funny. 'cause
I also
both-
don't know. I have a little nitpicky thing with you, by the way.
what?
Why do you give people points?
They're not even.
Why do you
talking
give
about
them
this.
a point? You're like, oh, let's give them a point.
They asked
And
for
they're
a
like,
point.
yeah, but they were sticklers on that point too. And like, there was zero chance they get a point. There was zero world that they get a point ever. It wasn't even close to a point. Like it was a massacre score. So, but like you always do that.
I
You
thought-
always. You
well,
do, you
I
do
also
not
thought-
like zeroing anyone.
No, I do not.
I want to know why. Why do you not like zeroing people? Because
Because
the
I'm
old Brad. Tell me about 2006.
No.
Brad.
We're talking about the team tournament, Brad, versus
Let's talk about
singles and stuff.
2006. Any Brad.
That guy.
Let's talk about team tournament, Brad, with your drop pod
no,
army.
because like 2006. Brad,
your Space Wolf drop pod army team tournament. Let's talk about that, Brad. What does that Brad do?
I gave up 0 points for like everything.
That's what I'm saying. It happened to you.
I'm afraid
Is that what happens?
I thought, but for my thing, I did give a couple zeros this weekend and last weekend.
Good.
Adepticon. At Adepticon, I gave a couple zeros. But I thought we were going to split. It's a friendly team. We had a weird match, because both of us had our worst pairings that we thought, you know what I mean? So as far as the generals, because we have some guys that are hobbying mostly and some guys that are playing mostly,
Yeah.
And so we ended up with that on that. And I thought we'd just be like, cool, hey, it'll be cool. We'll split 19 ones. And
But you 1,000% knew the other table wasn't giving our
I
team
did
one,
not.
right?
I didn't know it was bad. Well, they had like Eye of the Tiger vibes.
They were like-
we end our game. The
Our
best
game's
is,
laughing. Our game's laughing. And
oh, we were having so much fun.
They were like taking skulls on the other side of the table.
I'm like, I want to kill your guys so bad you can't play them next turn.
Exactly. Like,
Yes, there was a wildly different vibe going on the other.
it's a crazy different vibe. Yeah.
Yes,
There is, I think, an art to like literally zeroing your opponent, but being as nice about it as you possibly can
100%.
and being fun about it a little bit, you know, making jokes, providing some input on what they could do, just talking, shooting the shit, just other stuff.
You're supposed to be it's a social interaction. You should have a social game with your person. It's 100%.
But you should not feel like you need to give people points, Brad. And I've seen you do this quite a few times, and I don't know why you do it.
I don't know.
You're like the Nova guy. It's a 1918, right?
Oh, good.
And then the 18 guy sneaks in somehow.
No, I wasn't. I didn't even know that. That's a different story. I never. That was the thing. Everyone else was doing 19.
Yeah, you got screwed.
And I just put in like 10.
You were like 10. You were like, no, I think you got 11.
No, I got 10. I got a 10-9.
You got a 10.
Yeah.
And then you were like, how am I undefeated not making it?
Yeah, because everyone else put in 1918. And I was like, really? Every single game was 1918? Like, what? Like, I failed to believe this.
Weren't you in the last round like, oh, I didn't know we were doing that? Like, is that what we're doing? Can I go back?
Yeah. That was also when you shamed me.
Oh, yeah.
Into leaving.
One of my favorite side stories. But yeah, no, that was a great game against the Necron guys. They had a really fun theme of Archon or Silent King and what's his face? The vault guy. What's his name? The guy that captures everyone and collects them. The collector guy.
The infinite.
I actually can't remember. Trazon. Yeah, Trazon. They had a cool thing. I love the fact that they were taking pictures of people. They had like a little Polaroid camera and they were taking pictures of people.
Everything.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was like, that's a cool idea. It's sick as hell.
They did that. That was cool. Who did we play fourth round?
Fourth round, it was me and Elliot versus the Giant Knight, like the special character Canis Rex.
We played John and his boys.
Yeah, and the two huge Custodes vehicles. Like,
oh God, that was so funny. That was my fault on that because they wildly tipped their hand. I tipped our hand because all that you were.
Yeah, Brad goes to the table and he goes, I'm the only person with fire dragons. And the guy with the knight.
I did not say I was the only person with fire dragons.
The table.
I did not say any of that.
I said your exact words were.
I go, I'm not moving because I don't feel like getting up. I
have fire dragons. And you have fire dragons in front of you. They're in front of you. You know, like I'm not moving. And they're fire dragons in front of you. And the guy with the knight and the two vehicles is like, I guess I'll play over here. Which is totally fine. I don't care. But
they just kind of shuffled over the other two players.
Yeah, that game was really tough because they gave the tokens to their vehicles, and then the vehicle could score the objective by itself. For those who might not be aware, team tournament, to score objectives in some of these missions, you had to score it with a team. So like you had to have a unit and your teammate had to have a unit, both on the objective, uncontested. Also, to take it back, you had to have both as well. To steal an objective away, you had to get OBSEC on it from both players. So that was pretty crazy. And then you could spend these tokens. Each player had a token. You can upgrade a unit. If that unit dies, you cede 5 victory points to your opponent for primary. It counts for primary. So if you cap primary and you still get that, it doesn't matter. You don't get any more points. But if you spend the token, then the unit you put the token on scores by itself. And those Custodes vehicles are gigantic. They have dudes in them, so if you get anywhere near them, the dudes come out and make you like regret your life decisions. And then the thing is hard to kill. It's like super hard to kill. Imagine you don't have, like we're playing a Highlander Eldar, so our table has no fire dragons because Brad's got them on the other table. And the Dark Reapers are on your table. I have Dire Avengers, which honestly could actually kill it because I could go Super Saiyan with good old man Azerman. But it's 6s because it's not infantry, so it's a little risky. Swooping Hawks. Not going to do anything, really. I mean, could, but difficult. Lethals, yes. Lethals are not bad, but 2+ save.
Yeah.
Got cover, right? Just like stupid.
You know what you should have done? Shot them with your fire dragons. Because on my side of the table, I had Warhost, so I went D6 plus 2 with my Wave Serpent, got out, split fire on the DDAs, and blew both of them up. It was super easy.
And then you got back in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds easy. Yeah.
And we shot the other guys with Dark Reapers.
In retrospect, the idea of me going to a tournament with 3 units was the dumbest thing ever for team tournament. I had 10 Dire Avengers, 10 Swooping Hawks, and 10 Howling Banshees. And I had the 3 Exarchs in each unit. So I had Janzar, Baharath, and Azerman, the Phoenix Lords. So I had all of them, all 3 of those units. That's basically my whole army, 3 units, and a Solitaire. That's it. That's the entire army. And it's a team tournament where I have to like score with my teammate. I have to stay alive. Like, it was the antithesis of what I should be playing. So the next tournament I go to, I'm bringing 200 models to it because I am not playing like that ever again.
You know, I have an army for you, the craziness of it. So like, I think you love it over his shoulder, but this week I'll give props to Randy. Good job. Randy brought, and no one's been playing this at all. And I've been on it for a while. So I was glad that somebody played it. He played the Kroot detachment and played double Farstalkers, maximum Kroot, 18 Rampagers, and 6 Krootox Riders, and then like, you know, random Kroot characters and stuff. And 20-0'd everyone, just dominated at the team tournament because they just gave him to people that just didn't have the guns to deal with it.
Yeah, in a team event.
And if he goes first, he just, like, everyone left their game going, that was not fun. Never got to move. Like, he literally went first and got,
it just jams you.
And just got an inch away from me. And I never left my deployment zone. I got a 0, basically. He killed like 11 guys. And then like eventually I got out and he hit you with Rampagers that all do mortals when they charge.
That's definitely fine. That's 1000% my style of army.
You're just like, hey man, remember when you got a -3?
I just need a shirt that says I'm not here for your fun. Like, that's the shirt I need, and then I'm coming. Like, that's it. That's exactly what I need to do.
I love everything about that.
So
well, let me set us up for round 5.
PTSD.
Yeah, well, no, let's pull it up. First off, let's set up before though, because we got that draw on the end of day 1, and then we go into day 2, and we got armies on parade. We know we got a really good score on all of our side, you know, our painting and our theme and all that other stuff. And we're like, okay, we drew with those guys. So, and we just had a really good round. We got a huge score. I got a huge score. You got a good score on round 4. So as a team, we're sitting at a really big score, and we're like, all we have to do, guys, is smash in our last game, because we were on table 2, they were on table 1, and we look for our play. And I see what they're going to play. They're playing Necrons. They got Shatterstar with a Silent King, and then they've got all these other guns. I know because I made the armies. And I look over, and they're playing JD from Away Games and his super pretty Knight Army, and I'm like, they're going to smash that. No problem. We just got to do really well, put up like an equal score, and we'll be fine. And then Matt Root showed up with 4 more Doculus.
Dear God.
By the way, which got punted into the sun.
I wish the Necron guys played the DAC army. If Matt Root played the Necron.
It picks it up.
It's like, in my opinion, I've played Orcs. In my heyday, I was a big Orc player, and I used to play Orcs quite a bit. This is like an Orc player's wet dream.
Oh, dude.
It just is.
Well, the attachment doesn't exist anymore. GW punted it into the sun.
I had no idea how to play against Matt Root, and he's like an expert at Orcs, and he's very good at the game in general. And I'm playing him, and I'm like, I have no clue how to play this. So my first theory was like, let me just jam him up. I totally forgot about burning objectives. So I was like, if I jam him on secondaries, primary is going to be relatively close, and we could maybe edge, like we can get close to a 10-10. That did not work. I just didn't have enough units. I don't have enough throwaway. He has so much more throwaway. Every truck had like 5 tank bustas, 5 flash gits, and a shock attack gun in all the trucks. And then he still had 30 Ludas, 3 squads of 10. He still had the Beast Boys and the Beast Boy knobs and all that stuff. I mean, it was just like, this guy had every unit you could possibly want. You were dealing with Gaz and the Squid and the Gretchen, so you didn't have any of the floaters. We had the extra unit of tank bustas.
We had 2 units of tank bustas, 2 units of Ludas.
You had 2. We had 3. But you had Gaz and I would have preferred Gaz, to be honest.
But the Gaz was a problem for us.
Problem for you, yeah.
Our table had the weak hand-to-hand. Your table had the weak
good hand-to-hand.
Yeah, because I was like, I could never go there, you know? My Fire Dragon stayed in the Wave Serpent until turn 5 because I had to always threaten. Because if the Fire Dragons get smoked, Gazgul just moves up and goes, I don't care what your army does. You know what I mean? So I had to sit the entire game. So Mitch and I pull out a moral victory because we won by 1 point, which was still a 10-10. So we got a 10-10 draw, and we just didn't get enough point.
You guys got a 10-10 differential. We got like a 4-16. So we got crushed. And we ended up getting 14 points that round. But if we did max, we win the event. So we were in the right place. Yeah, 100%. We were in the right place. Yeah.
We were in a good spot. It was just man, it was just when I saw that, I was just like, that matchup. I was like, hey guys, you want to switch real quick? Because man,
really tough match.
Root and his boys know how to play too. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
So,
oh yeah. So, but it was fun. No issues. Really, really good games across the board. Every
I had a
round,
really
every
good
game.
time every round, to be honest. We had all good
And
times.
I actually hate to say this. I know Mitch is going to hate me. Hopefully he doesn't hear this, but I love the venue.
Dude, it was very, very spacious.
I like the venue a lot. I think they have so much room to grow. I felt like food was no problem. Drinks were no problem. I mean, everything's expensive, but they're everywhere.
Yeah,
you know?
but those were like Vegas prices. I mean, it was expensive. That was a
Convention
little different, man.
center pricing.
Yeah.
So now next year we can go.
We pack a
can
little
bring
bit.
more.
Yeah.
Have the army done way before we get there. No last minute stuff anymore. So that's all done.
That was
We're
the
gonna
only
get everything
thing that
done.
was a little bit of a bummer was you got sick before the event. And you obviously didn't get any better because we never let you sleep. You know what I mean? So
I got sick. The worst possible time.
Yeah.
I'm going crunch time tomorrow, and I get sick that day.
And I was not good.
I guess I have to go to sleep. So, yeah, it was rough. And what I needed to do actually is I needed to take a page out of our sponsor for today, which is Weller 12, a Buffalo Trace, a goodie, a Grady. If you can find it, it's worth every penny. I mean, don't pay secondary price, of course. If you can find it MSRP, it is a fantastic, fantastic drink. Highly recommend it. This is one of the things. Brad was texting with Kramer, and Kramer's like, "What alcohol do you want? I'll bring anything." And I'm like, "All right, I need a Baller 12 or a Pappy." And he's like, "Realistic alcohol like that you could find." And I was like, "God damn it, Kramer, you can't promise me anything and then show up with Bullet Rye, you know?" But I do love Bullet Rye, but just saying.
He did show up with everything for us. Kramer showed up.
Kramer's the best.
Out of
Kramer,
nowhere.
love you.
So showed up, literally hung out with us all Saturday, and then just showed up Sunday, took us to the event, and left.
Smoke bombed.
Out.
Straight up smoke bombed out. But yeah, no, it was a great Adepticon again. I was super glad that they actually didn't have the banners, the winning banners. I felt like the previous year when everyone that we played was like, "Are you guys those kamikazes?"
I thought those add a lot, dude. And it's not even for props like, hey,
Yeah,
me.
but I don't
think
want
they
people,
look cool.
I want to be low key under the radar though. I don't want anyone to know.
When you're zeroing peak, does that help your zero scheme?
I want to like snoop in. My goal is to go to more than 0 events between now and next Adepticon.
Well, that would be
that's
a severe improvement.
It's my goal.
Well, we're going to go to mine. How about an event that's happening June 6th, 7th, and 8th, the 40K Major happening in Detroit, well, technically Southfield, Michigan, run by Brian Horton and Brad Chester.
I got to register right now.
You should. It is on BCP. Thank you very much. Hosted by the 40K Lorecast.
What's actually the name of the event? I think you've changed it a few times.
Oh,
like if someone goes to BCP, what is it called? How can they get it? Go to the Lorecast.
It's the 40K Lorecast webpage, but it's called the event is the 40K Lorecast Major.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm going to go sign up right now. I'm excited to go.
And we're definitely waiting to get everybody to go. So many people have like been, hey, my entire group's coming. And I'm like, cool, sign up now so I don't have to owe Barsati money until I'm 700. And
is it at a hotel?
Yeah, it's in a hotel. It's at a really cool hotel.
I have to register a room as well then.
For people that are flying in, it's 30 minutes from the airport by Uber.
All right. Sounds good. I'm excited.
So it's rocking and rolling.
I don't know what I'm going to bring. I got to figure out what I'm going to bring.
Like, I think Emperor's Children is boss mode, man.
Really?
Demon
tell me more.
Okay,
tell me more.
Demon Princes, the whole army advances charges. Well, kind of a weird advance charge, but whatever. It's going to advance the charge. Demon Princes basically tank shock when they, just for free, when they come in, they do mortals. They've got -1 damage. They're super tough. They've got infiltrating units. They've got tormentors. They've got noise marines. They don't have the long range anymore, but they're super devastating. They've got characters that can flip things to 6s. They do a lot of mortals, which I think is very key in 40K. You have to have some way to do chip damage, mortals and stuff to people for those super hard to kill models. But they've got a lot of just combinations. Their units work really well together and they're really fast. And mobility wins 40K games. So like you can really shake and bake with them. Plus I think they look cool as shit, man. Like the Slanesh paint schemes that you see, like the purples that go into the whites. I just think it's a cool looking army. I wish Fulgrim was cooler. Lucius is a badass though. You're definitely Lucius is an auto include, and he's got a cool model.
Yes.
He's got a
I love
cool new
Lucius.
models.
I love
Yeah,
Lucius.
he's
He's
got a
like
cool.
one of my favorite
Oh,
models.
he wrecks. He just
Okay.
wrecks.
So I gotta have to probably buy this codex.
Yeah, I would do that. I think that you like that quite a bit. It has a lot of play. It also rewards being a good general on it. So like if you get your head behind the game when you're playing the Emperor's Children, I think you get a lot of reward. And I'm like a kind of a 40K snob about that. I really enjoy high risk, high reward armies, like things that were like Eldar. So I like Eldar quite a bit because like if you screw up, you can just lose your whole army in a mess. But like also if you play at the highest level, you can frustrate people and really dominate without letting them do what they want to do. You have a lot of agency on the table, which I really enjoy. I like armies like that as opposed to like big blocks of things that are trying to hit and be durable or just overwhelm somebody with dice. I like those armies that just have a lot of ability for you to have a real impact on the board with your decisions each and every time.
Got it. So like what would be like if you were to make a list right now? I'll put you on the spot. So you're making a list for Emperor's Children. Like what's the core? You don't have to give me the whole 2,000 points, but like
I got a most of it that I really like actually. 3 units of Noise Marines, 10/5 Infractors, 2 units of Tormentors, 2 Demon Princes, Lord Cocoa Nuts. I don't remember what his actual real name is off the top of my head. 2 Exalted and 2 Rhinos, maybe. I think that's 2,000. I may be leaving a couple things out, but that's the right there. That's what I would bring. The new units are super cool. Oh, Lucius also. I might try to bring in Flawless Blades. Some people don't like them, but like I just think they look cool. I think they look badass. I think that's something that you would bring, and you would just say you're going to sculpt them instead of get them because they have cool rules. I mean, I think they did a really good job with this codex as far as the detachments feel really cool. The detachment you'll play, you literally say, I'm going to kill this much in a turn. And if you don't, your warlord takes damage. But if you do, and once you get stacked up, you start getting bonuses to hit, to wound, to sustain. You get bonuses.
I can gamble in the game.
Exactly. That's why I was saying you're going to want to play that.
Game in the game.
You're also going to make a wild prediction. You're like, I will kill 7 this turn.
That does sound like me, actually. Yeah. Is 7 Slaanege's number too, by the way? Or 6?
6.
7's Nurgle, right?
7's Nurgle, 8's
Khorne,
Khorne, 9's Age. Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I like
Got it.
And I like a couple of their units are like that. I think you would really like that army. It just does a lot of things. I think that slow armies.
I'm sure shit not playing Eldar, so I know that one. But other than that, I got to figure
you
out.
You hate Eldar anyways. But I'm saying it's weird that you don't like them because you like a lot of fast armies. I mean, you like
I do.
wars.
I love fast armies. I don't know why. I've just always hated Eldar. I think it's like childhood scars from my local games.
It is true.
I've played like, I don't know, 50 games against a child prodigy with Eldar who's never let me win not a single time as a child. So I think I resent Eldar in a deep core area somewhere.
Like I will destroy them every chance I get.
Constant playing against Eldar in 4th is just like imagine an edition like these kids these days, all of you kids playing this 40K thing. You guys don't remember back in my day. When a codex was broken, so like the Daka, imagine Daka is a thing for 7 years, okay? That's what I lived through, okay? So like we just had like the most broken thing forever until the next most broken thing came. It was like we just wait until Grey Knights comes and then Grey Knight
was like a
spam.
long time.
Oh, it was so long, dude. Like it was so Eldar Wave Serpent spam / toolbox army, or even the Eldar walking component army. Those 2 armies were so strong for years.
Yeah, because I played Eldar in every edition, but I'm like,
it was for years, like until Grey Knight's 5th came out, until Razorback Spam came out, and then the Gladius came out.
Gladius Eldar was after that. The 5th edition.
No,
was
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Grey Knights came first. Grey Knights had a smaller period of like just absolute brokenness. Eldar was way bigger, and then you had Gladius come out after the Grey Knights, and then everyone's Grey Knight Razorbacks just changed to Ultramarine Razorbacks or something else, and you just played Gladius.
Yeah,
same general concept.
And then everything was trash in 7, so who cares?
So I am very excited to come to your event. I'm excited to bring my hobby to your event. Probably not going to win because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore, but I'm going to try to come with the hobby score.
We've got a bunch of really good painters coming in to do the paint judging, by the way.
Awesome. I'm excited. Cool. I love getting honest critiques. I don't know. I'm a little curious on the paint judging at Adepticon this year. I felt like it was a little too lax. I probably also benefited from that. So I'm not saying like we're the best painters, but I do kind of think that it was a little too lax. I also think like hobby scores for Adepticon, just me speaking my mind again, feedback for Matt, and I'll give it to him if he's curious on feedback, is I don't think hobby should be tied, period. I think you should choose. There shouldn't be a tie for first place for hobby. It's too important for the overall score. I think you should choose.
I don't know.
I think it needs to go to decisions. I think you pick a first, you pick a second, you pick a third. It's a big deal when you combine the golf score.
I'll give you that, but they're doing a thing right now where everybody's kind of going to this uniform way to score where they don't pick first, second, and thirds. They go, you can achieve this many points because of the fact that it's so subjective. They go over everything. And
I think I'm fine with that outside of the top 5. But I feel like you should pick in the top 5. If there's just to differentiate. Yeah, there's a 4-way tie for 6. That's fine. But the way team tournament works, I don't actually know if you know this, Brad. Do you know how team tournament scored now?
Yeah, because they do the ranks instead of the actual scores.
Okay, and it's golf. You understand it's golf, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know, they take your overall battle points, not win, loss, draw. So BCP is totally wrong. They take your overall battle points differential, and then you get ranked, and then they take your hobby score, which is a multitude of a lot of things. And then they rank that. And then they add the two things together and divide by 2. And that's your score. So like the team that won first place this year got an unheard of score where they got first in battle and they tied first in hobby, which is 2. Divided by 2 is 1. So they were first like that. I've never seen that before, ever. So we've won actually in the past with like a score of 3. And this year we got a score of 3. I think last year, the time we won, we got a 3.5 actually, and we won first place. This year we got a score of 3 and we lost. Also, by the way, third place was like 9. Just FYI. It was like crazy out. Like it was us, the Necron guys, and then everyone, the field.
Yeah.
So it was way out, which is also kind of weird. Usually the scores are really tight in the top. You'll have like 3 or 4 people.
Dude, well, really they smashed in battle, and we actually did very well in battle also.
For the army list we had, hell yeah. Give me a squad of fire dragons. I don't lose a game. I'm like, oh, you have a knight?
I mean, because we had 10 matches. We had 10 matches and we went 8-2.
No, I think it's totally different, man. I mean, honestly, if we just spam fire, like if I just spam fire.
Well, I mean, I say you those lists right after it.
We lose like 5 points probably, because we're not pure Highlander at that point.
I don't even know if we lose anything, to be honest.
We might not lose anything if we just have 1 duplicated unit. I'm not sure. But literally, if you just give both tables always have fire dragons, I think that's it. That's like the only difference maker I need. And against Custodes is like totally different.
Yeah, I would have sent
you have Canis Rex.
The list that I sent to you, we would have played.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally different. So like we arguably possibly lose 5 points in the general score, in the comp score. Maybe we lose 5, but we gain like 40 points elsewhere. So it's not even close. It's like crazy off.
We were what? So, actually, I think we were 7-2-1 out of the 10 games.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but it was really tough for me with 3 units. I'm excited to come to your event. I'm excited to make something, but I have a side question for you today.
Hit me.
It's a surprise. You're definitely not going to see this one coming. So at my job in real life, there is a diorama contest.
You're not even. You can't be serious.
I'm dead serious.
There's a diorama contest.
There is a diorama contest using peeps. And like people are pretty serious at work. And no one knows about my 40K hobby at work.
Oh my God. You know you're going to show up with something just out of control. People are going to show up with these small trays of little displays, and you're going to have a U-Haul come in, unload this. You're going to have a team of people.
So my question for you is, I mean, obviously I'm going for total domination. Well, my question for you is, what do I make the diorama about? Because you could do it. So the rules are, it could be about work. It could be about TV. It could be about pop culture. It could be about music. It could be about sports. It could be about anything. So I have a couple ideas, but I'm interested in if you have an idea by any chance.
I already have one.
What's your idea?
You're going to do a Super Bowl halftime show with a stadium cutout, like a half. So you have the display overlooking a stage with peeps on stage, and you put famous people that have been in the Super Bowl halftime, and you make them out of peeps.
Just you Kendrick Lamar it?
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar. You make like Snoop Dogg or whatever, you know, everybody's that's been there, and you put them out, and you have a stadium of peeps.
Okay. All right, that's in the bowl now. That's in the idea bowl. So here are the 3 ideas I had. And I don't know if you watch any of the shows, but I know you're going to resonate with a couple of the movies. Actually, I have 5 total ideas.
Hit
So
me.
the first idea is I do Helm's Deep.
Dude. Only if you do Helm's
I make
Deep,
the
but no, you also have to do
Peep
with-
Legolas, Orc, Peep Explosion Wall. Like,
but you have to do it when Gandalf comes down.
I'll have
daylight.
Gandalf. I'll have Peep Gandalf. I'll have the whole thing. So Lord of the Rings, Helm's Deep. Second idea is Neo versus Agent Smiths in the Matrix.
Not
I
big
make the
enough.
city.
Skip it.
Skip. Done. Out. Gone. Harry Potter versus Voldemort on the bridge with water running. And they have wand firepower in between.
You know how much I love water effects. I'm already in for this one. Continue on, though. I want to hear all of them.
Okay. All right. So that's another one. And then we have Severance, the show for, I don't know if you've watched Severance yet.
I have not.
It's an iconic TV show about when you go to work, you go down an elevator and you become a different person. Your brain severs. You don't know anything that happens at work, and your work person doesn't know anything about the real life. The set and the design is very unique, and I know people watch it. So that was another idea. It really
It won't hit everybody, though.
everyone probably, but but not everyone.
With the people, you would crush with you the people that know it, but it will miss with others. So it's already out.
And then the last idea is Marvel, like literally the Avengers. I make Avenger peeps fighting Thanos. I do the circles and everything.
So good,
I do Black
Jared.
Panther. I do Black Panther popping out of one. I do Hulk popping out of one. I make the giant peep Ant-Man of small peeps that grow into a giant Ant-Man guy. I make all the Marvel stuff like approaching Thanos. So it's like Thanos and like everything else.
I like these very much. I've narrowed it down to 3. It's Marvel, it's Super Bowl that I just said, and it's Harry Potter.
Oh, where are you going to go? You're going to go Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
What's that?
With Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings? You said 3. So Harry Potter or Lord of the
No,
Rings?
I said
Which
I
one?
love, as much as I love, I'm kicking out Harry Potter
Okay.
because I think that if you make Helm's Deep, you will just spaz out. So for one, you will basically have the FBI called on you because they'll think that you're trying to make a bomb out of peeps or something when you buy $10,000 worth of peeps to make this. They're like, there's no way that he's
I would make all the little peep orcs, and I'd make the naked peep running with the flame, and then I'd make the explosion.
I don't know.
I can't wait to make a Legolas peep. I feel like Lord of the Rings just won.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's going to be so large.
No, I can't make it that big. I got to make it relatively small.
No,
Small for me, small for Alan's standards.
it's fine. You just
Alan's
you
small.
mean like you did this year? So let me end with this story. So Alan, adamant, guys, this year we're traveling. Usually it's Adepticons in Chicago. Alan lives in Chicago. It's an easy trip over. This year we have to go to Milwaukee.
Easy?
No,
Is it easy for you, Brad?
I live far away. Is that
No.
easy?
Is it easy for you in the back of the U-Haul when it was in Chicago?
It is easy for you idiots. I got killed because I got bounced around the back of a U-Haul and a 9-foot tall tree destroyed me.
Best story.
But you kept saying, no, we're traveling this year. Absolutely not. It's going to be one board, one level, flat. We're traveling. We have to put it in a car. It cannot be. I show up at Alan's house. He has a 7-foot tall thing, and I had asked for a waterfall, and he put 4 of them.
How little did it, like, how close was it not to fit in the car?
It didn't fit in the car. I don't know how it fit in the car. We had to squeegee it in. We basically used a shoehorn.
There's more distance between people's bases that supposedly declare a charge than there was in us putting this display board in my Jeep Grand
I
Cherokee.
love that you said you measured. Like I measured it.
Yeah, I measured width and height, and I built it like almost max width, almost max height. But then the hypotenuse is greater, so I totally forgot that concept, and that's just a simple engineering
so
thing.
hard at that.
And
We're just
it was millimeters, and also it only fit one way, so it
Yeah.
didn't fit only with the top first because we could kind of
No, it was the other
Yeah.
way. It was bottom first.
only
we
first
couldn't
can
close
go.
it.
We couldn't close it because the hypotenuse of the frame in the bottom was too much, but the board itself could fit. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
I was worried that
But
you weren't
anyways.
going to be able to drive.
Oh man, it was such a good time. So we're gonna have a special episode probably this week. most likely of everything, the whole builds, walking through everything. I'll try to make it as fun of an episode as possible so people can see kind of what we went through. This is the first time we've actually documented anything, so it's not the best job, but it's much better than we've ever done. So I'm very excited. And I think if people like the content, I could probably get slightly more motivated to document things in the future. Maybe I'll even document my.
I mean, remember when I've asked to do this so many times and you're like,
You know what's really funny actually is I really like content creators that do document the process of building dioramas and like fun stuff. Like I love Squidmar Miniatures. Like I think he's amazing. And I also love the woman from, I can't remember her name right now, Nerdforge. I think her name is Nerdforge, but she's got like an amazing channel of just insanely cool displays. I just love that stuff. So yeah, it wouldn't be a bad idea to start doing that too. So I'm excited. So anyways, that's all for this week's episode of the Chapter 416 podcast. Feel free to give us a thumbs up if you are enjoying the show and subscribe so that you know when we publish new episodes, usually every Monday. My name is Pajama Pants. That is Brad Chester.
this guy.
And that is it for today. Take care.